Hello guys, welcome to the 7th video tutorial on Python programming for beginners, and in this video I'm going to show you what are lists and how to use lists in Python. So as the name suggests, list is a collection of values, and how you can declare a list in Python, you just need to give the name of the list. For example, I want to have the list of names, so I can give the variable name for list as names is equal to and then the square bracket, and this square bracket will contain the collection of values, and it's totally valid that this collection can initialize as zero values. So the list can have zero values also, and it can have maximum values, for example tens or hundreds of values. So for example, I initialize this list like this, and this list is initialized as a blank list. Okay, and when I call this names list once again, it's an empty list because I haven't provided any value to the list. Okay, so it's totally valid that you initialize your list empty. Now to initialize list with some values, what you can do is you can just write the name of the list once again, and then you can give the values inside your list like this. So for example, I want to have the collection of names, comma, some other name, comma, some other name, and this can go on and on and on, right? So it depends upon you what number of values you want to have in the list. And when I press enter, your name variable, which is a list, is initialized with these values. Now when you call this names variable once again, it has these three values. Now there is a term called index in Python for list, which indicates the position of the values in your list. So the position of this first name in the list, in as any other good language, starts from 0. It doesn't start from 1, but it starts from 0, and this is called the index of your list. So the index of this list, or the index of this name Mark is 0, index of this name John is 1, and index of this name Julie is 2. And on the basis of index, you can even call these values. So for example, I want to print out this first value called Mark. I can just write name of my list names and then just give the index. So the index 0 is for Mark, right? And when I press enter, it returns me the value Mark. In the same way, when I call index is equal to 2 names 2, it will give me Julie because it starts from 0 1 2, right? Now there is a very interesting thing in Python is that you can even have index backwards also, right? So the forward index starts from 0 1 2, and the backward index starts from -1 -2 -3, and if this has more values, -4 -5 and so on, right? Because why this starts from -1 and this forward index starts from 0, because you cannot have -0 from backwards, right? So this index will be -1, this index will be -2, this index will be -3, and you can even call these values on the basis of backward index also. For example, I want to print this name Julie on the basis of backward index. I can just do it like this. I can just give the backward index, which is -1, which starts from -1, right? Backward index starts from -1, and this prints Julie once again. So always remember, if you want to start from, or you want to have the forward index, just start from 0, 1, 2, and if you want to have the values from the backward index, you start from -1, -2, -3, and so on. Okay, for example, you want to call name Mark, you just need to give names and the backward index -3, and you give Mark, right? Now, in order to add values, more values to your list, what you can do is you can just call the variable or your list name, and then you just write dot and just write append, and in this bracket you just pass the value which you want to add to your list. So I want to add one more value to my name list, and I press enter. Now this name, which is a name of the list, dot append, which is a function, built-in function in Python, has appended or added one more values to my names list. And now when I print my names list, it has 4 values, and it has added this extra name to my list. Okay. Now, for example, you want to add list into a list. So, for example, I have some other list called age, for example, ages or age, and I have some ages here: 23, comma 12, comma 32, comma, for example, 11. Okay, so I have a list of names and I have the list of age, right? And I assign this list, and now I want to add the age to my names list. How can I add? I can just write names, which is the name of my name list, right? Dot extend, and in the bracket you pass your second list. So you can just pass this like this and press enter, and it's totally valid. And now when you call this name list, you have extra list of age here. So there is an interesting fact about Python list is it can contain different data types. So it's not necessary that your list only if you initialize list by string values, it only has to contain string values. Your list can contain string values also, or the integer values or float values or any other data type values, and it's totally fine in Python. Okay, so you can define different data type list also. Okay, so just remember this. Now you must have or you could have done the same thing. For example, you want to add or first of all I will show you how you can remove items from a list. Okay, so to remove an item from a list, what you need to do is, for example, my list name is names. I want to remove some items, so I will just write names dot remove, and in the bracket I will just give the item value. For example, I want to remove this name Patrick from the list. Okay, so I will just say name, which is the name of my list, dot remove, and then the value which you want to remove, and press enter. And once again I will call names, and now the value Patrick is gone from the list, right? So in this way you can remove list from your not remove list but remove values from your list in Python. Now, for example, you want to print a list, you can just call print method. So it's you can call your list using this print method also. So you can just write names and press enter, and it will give print the list of name like this only. Okay. Now in order to print multiple lists, for example, I have the list called names, and I have initialized this list called ages also, right? So I can just separate my list by comma, and I will just add one more list, and it will print two lists from me. First list is for names till here, and second list of ages till here, right? So you can either you use single list or multiple list, or print them like this. Okay. Now in order to get I've shown you how you can get the maximum value, minimum value, or the length of the strings in the last video, right? On the list also you can call length method, len, and you can find the length of the list, like you just call len built-in function and just pass the list name as an argument, right? And it will give the length of the string, which is 7, right? 1 2 3 4 5 6 7, right? So if the list contains 7 values, it will return 7. This is the length of the list. Okay. Now you can even print, for example, max. If uh, it applies to your list, you can even call this method. It will give an error because my list is a mixed list, right? But the same method, max, when I apply it to the list called age, it will give me the answer 32, right? Because my list of age only contains the integer values, and the maximum values of this is 32. Okay. So you can also apply built-in function on list also. So I think in this way you can use list in Python. I hope you have enjoyed this video. Please rate, comment and subscribe, and bye for now.